Hello everyone, welcome to Undercurrents. My name is Ken Ogasawara. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s like I did, maybe you remember this little jingle. Reduce, reuse, recycle, renew. If you want a better world, it's up to you. It's quaint and simplistic, but I do appreciate how countercultural it is, how it pushes back against the seemingly unstoppable force of consumerism in advertising today. Today's version of that jingle might sound more like, buy this, buy that, buy more, buy new. If you want to feel better, it's up to you and your credit card. The only thing we're being told to renew is the lease on that brand new car or that subscription to that streaming platform you got to watch that one show on and then forgot about. We're awash in advertising, constantly nudging us to upgrade, to replace, to refresh, to keep up. Now, I'm not here to judge. Far be it from me to deny you the dopamine hit of finding a new shirt or a pair of shoes or yet another throw pillow. But how do we indulge in this in a way that invests our dollars spent toward a good cause? How do we do this in a way that doesn't tear more raw materials out of the earth? And how do we do this affordably so that we're not breaking the bank? There is only one good answer to this: MCC thrift shops. But first, a word from our equally worthy sponsor. Undercurrents is sponsored by Kindred Credit Union. Kindred helped to get Undercurrents off the ground back in 2020 and have been a faithful supporter all these years. Kindred is all about helping you make peace with your money through real human advice and by using money as a force for good in your community. Go to kindredcu.com to learn more. For a lot of people, MCC is practically synonymous with our thrift shops. I can't count the number of times I've told someone I work at MCC and they say, I love MCC. I found this amazing cable knit sweater there. To them, MCC is where they find their favorite vintage lamp or perfect winter coat. They know the people who work there are kind. They know the stores are run well and the prices are reasonable. And these are all very good reasons to shop at an MCC thrift shop. But the number one reason?
Why shop at MCC thrift shops? Number one reason, we are 100% charity. We're owned by Mennonite Central Committee.
This is Mark Patfield, General Manager of the MCC New Hamburg Thrift Center.
The funds that we raise go to support the work of the Mennonite Central Committee. It's not going into a corporation. It's not going into the stock market to make the money people richer. That money is actually going to help people who are in need, and those life-changing results are what happens because of what we do here. So absolutely, number one reason, if you're going to make a donation, bring it to a charity thrift store. Help those that need it.
That's the heart of it. 100% of profits from MCC thrift shops goes to support the relief, development, and peace work of MCC in 43 countries around the world and right here in Ontario. In fact, since MCC's first thrift shop opened in Altona, Manitoba in 1972, the network of MCC thrift shops have spread to over 100 shops across Canada and the US, collectively forwarding over $65 million to MCC. So now that we know why you should shop and donate your gently used items at an MCC thrift shop, let's get into the how. Most of us donate something and then move on with our day, which is fair. You have errands, I have errands. Nobody has time to follow a rice cooker through its full secondhand journey. But behind the scenes, a lot of care goes into deciding what can be sold, how quickly it can get onto the retail floor, and what can still be salvaged even when something isn't sellable as is. Mark walked me through the basic process at their New Hamburg shop.
From there, receivers will get it, go through, have a quick look at it, get it divided out into the individual categories so that we know which department it needs to go to, so that's already looked after for it. So things have gone through, making sure that it's stuff that we can sell, good quality. We'll actually make the decision, is it something that we're able to sell? Yeah. Is it good quality to sell? Get the price tag on it. Most types of items that are donated, we get it through in a day, 2 days. So very, very quick turnaround for us.
When we get a bin of cars and trucks and trains, we separate them into metal and plastic.
Carol is one of the volunteers in charge of toys at MCC New Hamburg Thrift Center.
I put the plastic in one bag and put 15 in a bag and put a price on it. Do you want to know the price?
Sure. What would you price this at?
We would price 15 in a bag at $5 of plastic.
Every week we do try to make sets of things.
Karen Davis, who is processing lead at the New Hamburg shop, tells me the extra lengths the volunteers go to put together great toy packages for children and families.
So we can put a better set together for kids if we keep pieces. And these ladies all know
Right.
what goes with what and what characters are what.
Right. So all the Frozen stuff, we got a big Frozen kit
Yep.
being assembled here.
Or we Google it and find out.
Okay, you Google it and you see like what all goes into the thing. Right. Okay, wow. Much appreciated. Because you don't want like a half-built set or something and then you come in later and then it's like, oh, we could have used this for...
Yeah, exactly. So we do try. Sometimes we put things out lower price because we haven't got all the pieces, but we do try to make sets if we can.
Yeah, okay. Sweet. I have personally benefited from MCC Thrift's high standards, in particular with footwear. I'm holding here a pair of black leather steel-toed boots. It says H.H. Brown on the leather insole. I guess that's the brand. It's made in Canada, and it was once owned by someone named Murray. $10 at MCC New Hamburg Thrift Center. Thank you, Murray. I've also got here a pair of Allbirds sneakers. Great condition. Retails for over $100. $8 at MCC Thrift on Kent. And an honorable mention to these iconic Red Wing brand Iron Ranger leather boots. I say honorable mention because they weren't bought at an MCC thrift shop. My friend Ryan bought them because at $35, they were too good to pass up, but they didn't quite fit him. So he kindly passed them on to me. I looked up these boots and they retail for $500 Canadian. I would never in my life pay that much for shoes, and neither should you, but I'm glad I have them now. They'll last forever and they look good with everything. Why am I telling you all this? My point is that behind every amazing thrift shop score is someone who decided that they would donate this valuable, high-quality thing in good condition to a thrift shop. They could have sold it on Facebook Marketplace or a consignment store, or saved them as a gift for someone they're trying to impress. But no, they decided to give their best away. My encouragement to you is to be that person. Pay it forward. So we've established that MCC thrift shops work hard in quality control. There's a lot of effort spent in making sure what reaches the shop floors is of high quality and in good condition. Which begs the question, what is done with the items that don't make the cut? At the MCC New Hamburg Thrift Center, Mark has a number of creative ways to make use of them. Take unusable electronics, for example.
So we're going to head on down to see our metal recycling section. It's where our volunteers will actually take apart and disassemble items that we're not actually able to sell. We get a blender, for example, that doesn't work. Blender just won't turn on, won't fire up. In that motor, once we get that out, wrapped and wound with copper, lots of value out of that. Volunteers will actually strip and unwind the copper because of the value of the copper on the resale market right now. So we're in a place where we're grateful for what we do get donated. Everything that you see in here is things that have been direct donated, not specifically for metal recycling. It's been stuff that people have donated that for various reasons we either can't sell, things that aren't working if it's anything to do with electrical, anything along those lines. Yeah, we certainly encourage people. There's lots of other places to take full metal recycling. We're just not set up for a complete metal recycling.
Yeah.
Wipe. So the number twos go to a shop where they use them to soak up oil or something.
Okay.
Rather than wipe their hands.
There are separate teams of volunteers who come in every Monday to process clothes that are torn, stained, or poor quality, and cut them up into rags that are sent to machine shops, restaurants, and other industrial businesses. Even here there is quality control, as they cut out logos or graphics that don't soak up liquid well. Mark is quick to point out that while they're doing their best to be creative with these unsellable pieces, they're not actively seeking them out. Now for a practical question. What do the shops especially need? Mark didn't hesitate to give his answer.
That's actually a really good question. Housewares being number one. There's always a demand for housewares. We've all got extra bowls, we've got extra cups, extra kitchen utensils kicking around our houses. There's always a really great demand for more of those. And when we're able to actually take those, bring them here, have us sell them on to people that actually need them and want them, that means that we are not asking people to go and buy more new plastic that has to be created. We're not asking people to go and buy more new glass that maybe hasn't been recycled. All of those different pieces. So for us,
I was surprised by the answer, to be honest. Housewares. Not glamorous maybe, but very useful. Thrift is not just about the great vintage pants or the one-of-a-kind painting. A lot of the time it's about everyday needs being met in practical, affordable ways. And Mark had one more piece of advice that I found really helpful.
the ask would be, if at all possible, to kind of try and donate things in season. We're not going to sell a whole lot of shorts in the minus 20 middle of November, middle of January. And conversely, in the middle of the summertime, when it's 30 degrees out, we're not selling winter coats. And so if people have the capacity to hold on to some of those things, it makes it easier for us. It makes it more likely that those items are going to be sold in the appropriate time. And the real win of that is that we get those items when they're needed into the hands of the people that need them.
The efficiency of their process helps them move an unbelievable number of items through their doors.
So at the store right now, we are selling just about 1 million items a year. That we know that from our POS system out front. That's what's actually being priced and being scanned through. So an absolutely huge amount of items.
And this is just from the new Hamburg shop. There are 5 more MCC thrift shops across Ontario, in Kitchener, Elmira, St. Catharines, Stouffville, and Leamington.
The beautiful part in all that is our average price point in the store right now is about $4 an item overall. So that includes the 50-cent cups, the $1 books, the $200 couch, and the $7 or $8 pair of jeans that go out.
So far, we've walked you through the shop. We've discovered how MCC Thrift is going well above and beyond to present great value and quality for customers, and to reuse, recycle, and renew as much as possible of the goods that come in their back door. But we can't talk about MCC Thrift without talking about the volunteers.
So how is Ken doing?
I'm doing well.
Well,
Thank you. Yeah, I've sort of...
we thought about you a lot, actually.
Volunteers like Erna Cornelson and Margaret Penner, best friends in their 80s and longtime volunteers with MCC Thrift in St. Catharines, 2 of over 1,900 volunteers who have contributed their time and talents to MCC. Erna and Margaret used to work in the sorting room, but after retiring from that work, they are now consistent and devout prayer warriors for MCC.
Thank you, God.
An answer to a prayer.
Right.
That is such a blessing, yes.
Every month, they come in for a meeting with shop managers and get the lowdown on any specific prayer requests, the latest exciting news or stories from MCC, and at the time of my visit, even going so far as requesting an outline of MCC's new strategic plan.
Each one.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Strengthen local
nice.
impact. There's goals under each one.
Wow.
Some of these won't necessarily make sense if you're not working in the context.
Yeah.
But it gives you a better sense of how we might go
Right.
about it.
And if we don't understand 100%, 99 is good enough.
Hey, there we go.
It says a lot about the culture of a place when volunteers care so much that they pray for it. Not in a vague thoughts and prayers kind of way, but in specific and deeply intentional ways. And it says a lot of the shop managers. At the time, it was Tim Albrecht, who is now general manager of MCC Thrift on Kent in Kitchener, and current GM of the St. Catharines shop, John Himes, who take time out of their busy and bustling schedules to sit down and pray with their volunteers. Volunteers feel this vibe and appreciate it deeply.
I've really enjoyed my experience as a volunteer. I think just beyond like the personal fulfillment that it gives me, it's just like it's been such a source of joy, and the fact that I see that reflected in other volunteers too, it's like, oh, it's not just me that loves this. I feel like
This is Isabella Kamari, a first-year university student and volunteer at MCC Thrift and Gift in Elmira.
But I was, really happy to find that like there was such a wonderful community of volunteers that all it felt like everybody kind of had their own reason for why they were there, and they knew that whatever work they were doing was something important, and they really valued it.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, renew. MCC thrift shops do a fantastic job of the last three: reusing, recycling, renewing. And whenever you donate or shop at an MCC thrift shop, you're strengthening that ethic. But the most important part of that jingle, appropriately enough, is the first on the list: reduce. Every new car or new fast fashion low quality shirt that we don't buy is that much fewer raw materials pulled from the land, that much less pollution emitted in manufacturing it, and fewer unprotected laborers exploited in its production. Now I can see someone pointing out the irony that if we all radically reduced buying new things, thrift shops would soon not have enough material to resell. And while I concede part of that logic, we would far prefer that to the overproduction and overselling of low-quality products that won't last, that we don't need, and that we can't afford. The same goes for MCC, actually. Our goal is to create a world in which relief aid isn't necessary anymore because there are no more wars or displaced people. A world in which our programs supporting marginalized people shut down because no one is marginalized anymore. I know we can't thrift our way to a perfect world, but it is something that we can do. And at a time when global challenges can feel overwhelming, these small life choices can be meaningful, especially if we do it together. And now for a few reflections and action items. The first is around changing our perspectives. What if thrift is not just a cheaper way to shop, but a practical response to the question of enough? What if reusing things well helps interrupt the sense that we always need something newer to be okay? Is there one area of your life where you could more intentionally buy used, or share, or borrow, or simply pause before purchasing? The second layer is thinking about changed relationships. Who in your life is affected by your habits of consumption? Your family, your kids, your neighbors, your church? Could choosing to reuse or recycle become something shared? Swapping household items, donating, volunteering together, talking more honestly about what we actually need and what we don't. I've seen this in our own neighborhood group chat, where previously used but no longer useful toys and household items and furniture are finding new homes for free on a daily basis. Sometimes small changes in habit can shift the culture of a household or a community more than we expect. The third layer is system change. If you want a better world, it's up to you. This little jingle pointed the finger squarely at the consumer. In fact, elementary school children. It definitely isn't pointing the finger at mass consumer culture and the exploitative economy of extraction that is making such a mess of our world today. What kinds of businesses and local economies do we want to support? If we want less waste and more reuse and more community benefit, then it matters where we shop and where we donate and what kinds of social enterprises we help thrive. Supporting MCC thrift is not the whole answer to consumerism or environmental harm, but it is one meaningful way of strengthening a different kind of system. And finally, if you really want to get in on the action, donate your best items to MCC thrift. Think housewares. Donate in season when you can, shop at MCC thrift before buying new, and volunteer if you have the time. And tell someone else why choosing MCC thrift matters. I want to say a huge thank you to Mark, Isabella, Carol, Erna, and Margaret, and all the rest of the amazing staff and volunteers of MCC thrift shops across Ontario, whose work helps make these shops thoughtful, welcoming, and deeply useful. A big shout out to all of you donors and shoppers who keep these good things in circulation, and in so doing, support a much bigger story of relief, development, peace building, and care for creation. Undercurrents is produced with help from Kristen Kong, theme song by Brian McMillan, cover art by Jesse Bergen, and executive produced by Sandra Reimer. Thanks as always to Kindred Credit Union for supporting Undercurrents. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, or you're looking to donate a pair of child's size 3 rollerblades for my daughter, send me an email at podcast@mcco.ca. My name is Ken Ogasawara. Have a great rest of your day.